Hey guys, John here. So I've been promising for probably 2 weeks or more that I would record a video of me going through the Python installation and then setting up VS Code. This is really geared towards people that have never written Python before, especially from kind of our section doing IT type work. We understand how to install software because we're not dumb, but there's a lot of stuff a lot of little stuff that you can mess that will make your life slightly harder. Not mess. Yeah, so we're going to try to avoid that today, and I'm going to burn through this real quick. So starting out on python.org, not .com, oh my god, and code.visualstudio.com. You guys know how to Google this type of stuff, so I'm not going to, I'll throw the links in the comments. So let's go to downloads, and we're going to hit download for Windows, Python 3.8.2, and it's literally that easy. We have the Python installer now. I'm going to be installing a slightly different version of Python on my computer because I have to have 3.7 for some stuff that I do for school. But if you go through installing 3.8, which I recommend you do, it'll be exactly the same process. I'm going to Rachel Ray Food Network it a little bit here. So we have our Python installer and our VS Code installer, right? And let's go through Python first. So that guy pops up that we're all familiar with. Hit run. We're going to hit customize installation. So I ran through this. I was like 5 minutes into this just a minute ago, and pip didn't pop up right off the bat, which is frustrating. So I'm hoping that this will work this time. Big thing, check add Python 3.7 to path. If you don't do that, you won't be able to run Python from the command line without aliasing it yourself or without having to go into the folder that Python's installed to. It's just done, add it to your path. And we're going to hit Customize Installation. Basically, we want everything. And then install for all users for the fun of it. Precompiled standard library should be done. I would personally install, well, actually I haven't used the debugging symbols or binaries myself, so I'm not going to do it. You know, it's up to you. I'm not going to tell you how to run your life. I would just install everything, but whatever. So, all right. So while we have Python installing, packages are a thing in Python, right? Packages are like source code that somebody else has written that does a function. You can find all these packages on PyPy, and I'll show that to y'all here in just a minute. But PyPy is what pip pulls from. And to run pip, we need to go to PowerShell. And we're going to have to run this as administrator, annoyingly. At least on my box, probably because I don't have permissions set up particularly correct. So we're here. Whenever Python is done installing, we should be able to run pip. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and bring this guy up, and we can show y'all pip while we wait. I think it's PyPy. Yeah, pypi.org. The Python package indexed. That's what it stands for. So let's say that we need to work on network devices, right? And we've heard of like Paramico. Would you look at that? Paramico 2.7.1 SSH2 protocol library. We can see that this is the latest version when it was released. You know, if this is 4 years old, we probably shouldn't even bother with this package, right? And GitHub statistics are usually pretty good too, because it's like, okay, if 2 people have started this, it's probably not worth the time even to investigate, unless it's something really weirdly specific. We could probably look for like Cisco. There's all sorts of weird Cisco VPN with Python, right? It's kind of neat. Automation tools for SD-WAN. Somebody should probably look into that. Or what else? What else is? Well, let's say, what's something? Oh, Napalm is a common one. Napalm is another way, network automation, yeah. It's pretty killer. Latest release in October. You can see not many people have started yet on GitHub, but 1,000 stars is still pretty solid. 400 forks is bizarre. So apparently a lot of people are working on this code actively, which is cool. So yeah, and of course it gives you the pip command to install this stuff, which is pretty neat. So let's hit close, let's hit copy. We're going to pop back over in here to PowerShell. I alt-tabbed on the other monitor. I am not magic. Let's paste that guy. Come on. Oh, come on. Pip install napalm. Hey, look at that. Sweet. Yeah, so definitely hit customize installation because pip was not my path variable last time that I tried to run this. And that was not awesome. Yeah, and while I'm thinking about it, so today we're going to cover, well, I say today, not here. This afternoon on a Skype call, we're going to talk about some more common packages that I like in Python. So we'll look at like the black code formatter for Python, which is super rad. And then there's some other stuff like PyTest that we should probably install. So let's say pip install black PyTest PyLint. And you can provide a, oh cool, looks like we've got all of that stuff already. You can provide it with a list that is separated by spaces on a pip install if you want to install more than one package. And I will hand you guys kind of my list of commonly used tools that I think any DevOpsy type person will benefit from. So, less than, well, a little over 5 minutes and we already have Python installed. So we're going to run the VSCode installer now. There isn't really a lot of tricky stuff in the installer for this guy. The kind of trickier stuff comes in, yeah, we want to install there anyway. You won't have that error. So these guys are kind of useful, right? I like to register code as an editor for everything and add it in to my menus because that's kind of cool. I'm not going to create a desktop icon because I don't really use the mouse that often. And we're going to let this guy install. So the really tricky stuff comes from configuring VS Code correctly. The preferences GUI isn't fantastic, so I'm going to take you all through editing the JSON. There are like 5 things in there that we really need to add to make it better. Okay, that took less than a minute and we have VS Code installed. So we're like half of the way there, right? All right, so let's close this out. Quick run through. Oh, it kept my extensions at all. That's kind of annoying. So this may not be the best run through. Okay, so extensions. So you hit the extensions button, right? And I'm not going to take y'all through a tour of VS Code. There are way better videos, way better teachers for you on that. I kind of have a lot of crap installed, which is kind of annoying because I uninstalled VS Code on purpose so that y'all wouldn't have to see all this stuff. But, okay, so powerful thing if you haven't used VS Code before is Control-Shift-P. I wish you guys could see my keyboard. That brings up this context menu, right? And we're going to type in open settings. This should give us a bunch of options, right? But we want preferences, open settings, JSON. Ugh, crap. It's still all of this garbage. That's irritating. Ugh. Oh well. All right, so there are a handful of lines that I really want you guys to have in your settings JSON. And I'm going to highlight those and put them in the comments on this video, right? So on top of whatever is there already, we want Python linting enabled true. Okay, so, and as you start to type this stuff out, it also auto-completes, which is pretty sweet. So Python.linting enabled true, right? And it's telling me that I have a duplicate key. Actually, let me add some space here so that we can see what we're working with. So files autosave and Python linting on save are both options that we want. So, and also, I think we, okay, evidently not. So files autosave after delay. Super important. That tells VS Code to save whatever you're working on every time that you pause for a second. You can also specify that delay if you'd rather. So files autosave delay. I usually keep it at the default of 1,000 milliseconds, right, which is 1 second. Somebody fact check me on that, please. And then we want to say Python, whoops, gotta have them in quotes. Python lint, oh, I already have it. Linting on save, right? So as those smart of you that are watching this video have probably already figured out, we're auto-saving now every second. So if I stop typing for a second, it saves. And then Python is running this linter every time that I pause, right? So that pops up constantly if you are having errors in your code. It's good and bad. I mean, if you're halfway through a statement and you pause for a second, you're going to get errors. But if you miss something, you don't have to wait and run the code to see that you have an obvious problem. Let's see what else is important up here. Alrighty, Python path, that should be already set up. And a lot of this stuff we can also set just through the, yeah, we're going to say whatever, through the context menus here. So Python, you may have to select a linter, right? And like I'm using, oh, come on. That's weird. I guess we need to enable linting first, maybe. Enable linting. It's already on. Select linter. Okay, cool. Whatever. I don't know why I did that. I like PyLint. A lot of people like Flake8. It's up to y'all. PyLint, I think, comes in the standard package, maybe. So select PyLint. And then Python formatter, maybe? No? I don't guess so. Yeah. And then select interpreter would be where you would pick your Python installation. It may pop up if you run code for the first time. Yeah, if anybody is still kind of lost, I can make another video where I, no kidding, rip out all of my settings and do this again. But I feel like you guys will probably get at least pretty close to dangerous with just this. So important extensions, if you're going to run Python for the first time, ignore like 2/3 of this crap. Nah, you don't need that. So there is a Python package. If you literally just search Python in the marketplace, it'll pop up. It's the #1, like, this is the support for the Python language. This is really for, so like, .py files. I know a lot of us like to write in Jupyter notebooks because you can see right here, Jupyter notebook, you can see kind of how the code works as you go along. Python for VS Code is, I think, some more, you know, kind of feature-y type stuff, and then the extension pack is also pretty useful. I wonder what that 5's for. I bet you I'm 5 versions behind. Oh, or maybe there's 5 sub things here. Oh, whatever. If anybody wants to know, I'll look up the answer to that. And then AREPL is also a tool that we found pretty useful because it runs just like this here. You can see the output of your code constantly as you write your code. So if you're working on like our weekly challenge problems or Exercism or something, it's a pretty useful way to do it. And then Python Indent is also pretty useful because it will indent you to the correct level and it makes your code prettier. All right, I think that's kind of the big stuff. And then, of course, like I mentioned today on our education call with ANI, we're going to go through some of the common Python tools that I find useful. And yeah, hope this has been useful to y'all. If you have any questions, let me know. Drop them in the comments.